went really well. It was really fun, and yeah. Don't worry. You'll make it next time. But Barry makes. Oh, well, thank you. That's so nice of you. It's an undertaking. Yeah. So I'm not sure what the little microphone cover. Oh, here it is. Okay. All right. Good Yontif, friends. Chag Sameach. Whether or not we have a minyan, we're going to get started. All right. And oh, thank you. Thank you. If you're joining us on live stream, we are thrilled you're here. Welcome. And before we get started, if everyone could take a quick second to review the security procedures in their bulletin. Hopefully we'll never ever have to use them, but it's always good to refresh ourselves before service. Well, good Yontif and Chag Sameach. We're thrilled to be with you this evening for our Poo-Poo Platter Part 1 of Shemini, Atzeret, and Simchat Torah. Tonight's mostly Simchat Torah. Tomorrow will be more of a combination of the two. Although we don't have a minyan yet, we would traditionally start with Baruch Hu, but although we don't have a minyan, we can still recite the second part of Baruch Hu. So we're going to go ahead and start there. Please join me on page 396. We're in the middle. And why don't we read together? Praised are you. Praised are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzvaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign over us into eternity. Together, Baruch Atah Adonai, Ha'ma'ariv Aravim. We have this whole light and darkness theme over here, foreshadowing what we'll be reading tomorrow when we start the Torah anew. Let's daven in the language of our choice on page 398 or 399. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. You'll notice the melody that I just used is a little bit different than any of our other evening services that we typically have. That's because this is specifically a melody used on festival evening services. Well, I invite you to rise, if it's your custom, for Shema on page 400. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. You may be seated. 402. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha ubechol nafshecha ubechol me'otecha ve'hayu hamarim ha'elem asher anochi mitzavecha hayom levavecha shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam ve'shivtecha b'veitecha ub'lektecha v'debech u'shochbecha v'tumecha u'kshartam leot ayadecha ve'hayu letotafot p'neinecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha. Together. Leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim leloechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liyod lachem Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem emet. We turn now to page 406, and you'll notice this melody is a little bit different as well, and that's because it's a specific mode that we use for Micha Mocha on festivals. Micha Mocha ba'elim Adonai, Micha Mocha nedar b'kodesh, Norah tehilot, Osef eleh. Malchutecha le'ovanecha, Boki hayam lifnei Moshe Miriam, Zei lihanu ve'amru, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. V'ne'emar ki fad Adonai et Yaakov, Uge'alo miyad chazak mimenu, Baruch ata Adonai, Ga'a Yisrael. We turn now to page 408 for Hashkivenu, and let's read together at the top of page 409. Together. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Eternal God, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Blessed is the guardian of Israel, whose love gives light to all the world. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Well, there's a specific text that we recite on festivals, and you can find it at the bottom of page 410. I'll read it in the Hebrew, and let's read the translation together in the English. Vaydaber Moshe et moadei Adonai el bnei Yisrael. Together. And Moses declared the appointed festival of Adonai to the people of Israel. Well, at this point, we're ready for our silent evening meditation for festivals. You can find it starting on page 470, and it extends through page 492. Take a few moments, look at the Hebrew and the English, or you can close your Siddur and have a more personal conversation with God, and we'll come back together in just a few moments for a prayer for peace. I invite you to rise if you are able, and we'll face eastward for this. Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam 488 Ki Atahu Melech Adon Lechol HaShalom Ki Atahu Melech Adon Lechol HaShalom Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam V'tov beinecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael Bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב, ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. שלום רב, ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. Wow. That was most of Ma'ariv, our evening service. It sort of flies by as we're anxious to get to some celebration. But before we jump in, let me just kind of tell you where we're going. So in just a moment, we're going to transition to dancing with the Sifrei Torah. I just want to say, let's be human about it. We have 3 extremely heavy Torahs. So if at any point we kind of need to, set down the Sifrei Torah, if we need a little break, that's okay. We can continue dancing and celebrating in our own way. We'll be singing lots of really happy songs from most of the Hakafot. And I'll walk us through that as we go. But I wanted to share a statement that was put out by the Rabbinic Assembly, which is the conservative movement's Rabbinic Assembly. And this is so appropriate for our Reform congregation as well. So I wanted to share it, and I wanted to take their recommendation and embed it as a tradition that we carry forth for the time being in the years to come, in memory of what happened last year at this time. So I'll read part of it to you all, and then we'll go into dancing. Last year, on the evening of October 6th, or on the Hebrew calendar, Erev Simchat Torah, families and synagogue communities around Israel gathered to celebrate a festive Simchat Torah. Fewer than 12 hours later, on October 7th, Nepach le'evel mecholenu, our dancing was transformed into mourning. At 6:30 a.m. that day began the biggest catastrophe and most horrifying act of violence in the state of Israel's history. Our people endured hundreds and hundreds of murders, sexual assaults, and abductions by attackers who indiscriminately unleashed their terror upon men and women, babies and elders, Jews, Christians, and Muslims, people of more than 25 nationalities. At the Nova Festival, more than 400 young people were dancing all night until the murderous onslaught began at sunrise, cutting short the lives of hundreds and injuring and traumatizing thousands. This Simchat Torah is the yahrzeit, the anniversary of the date of the death on the Jewish calendar, for well over 1,000 people, actually over 1,200 people, cruelly murdered in Israel. That means that tonight through tomorrow daytime, we have an extra 1,200, more than 1,200 yahrzeits that we are observing as a people. Not since the Shoah have so many Jews been murdered on one single day. Shabbat, Misos, Livenu nefach le'evel mecholanu. Gone was the joy of our hearts. Our dancing was transformed into mourning. Following such an unimaginable tragedy, how can one ever celebrate this day of Simchat Torah again? And yet, all over Israel, there are Simchat Torah celebrations. This year, as every year, just as bereaved families and decimated communities have sought to find moments of joy and comfort and beauty, even during this terrible year. In our long history, our dancing has been transformed into mourning countless times before. Centuries ago, in the Jewish community of Krakow in southern Poland, an anti-Jewish mob entered a synagogue on Simchat Torah and attacked and murdered worshippers during the Hakafot of Simchat Torah. To remember this incident every year, that Krakow community developed the custom to pause the Hakafot in the middle of the fourth Hakafah. There are 7 Hakafot, so this was in the middle of the fourth Hakafah, to sit on the floor and chant lamentation poems, and then to resume the standard Hakafot with the 5th Hakafah. Remarkably, they continued to commemorate this incident for centuries. And perhaps it is even more remarkable that each year, after pausing and crying, they would resume the joyous singing and dancing. Not to mourn at all is impossible, and it's insensitive. But wisely, even after unbearable tragedies, we are urged to focus on the world's blessings and joys. At the heart of tonight's celebration, we will pause to remember. So for the 4th Hakafah tonight, what I'd like to invite us to do is this. We can set down the Sifrei Torah on the podium or on the holders, and the Rabbinical Assembly is recommending that we stand together in a unified circle, and we sway, and we sing a song that's a little less joyous, maybe something more pensive, maybe a little sad. I've selected one that's not necessarily sad, but it kind of captures more pensive and somber feel. And then following this honorary 4th Hakafah remembrance, we'll jump back into our dancing. And I think that this is the way we should celebrate Simchat Torah moving forward for the time being, so that we can remember that with the honey, there's always a sting. It's the Jewish way, right? In Jewish music, there's major interwoven with minor chords. We've had a tough history. We still have to celebrate while we remember the sad moments. So I'm going to pause right here. So what's going to happen is this. We are going to turn to page 500. Actually, you don't even really need to. So I'll be singing these parts. I want everyone else to focus on dancing and not necessarily holding our big honkin' books over here. But if you do want to follow along, it's starting on page 500. Each Hakafah will begin with this sort of formula. You'll hear me sing a verse, and there'll be a little refrain. Anenu, anenu, begum kareinu. Anenu, anenu, begum kareinu. Which basically means, like, God, please answer us when we call on you. And then we'll transition into a song. For each Hakafah, I'll lead us in a song. Hopefully, they're pretty easy songs, so hopefully everyone will feel like they're familiar enough they can sing along. If not, sing on Lai's hum. Just be happy. There are so many things to celebrate. So if you are planning to hold a Torah, there'll be lots of opportunities. Anyone who wants to hold the Torah and is able to, you will have an opportunity. Again, the Torahs are really, really heavy. They kind of go in order from lightest to heaviest. So lightest, medium, extremely heavy, like backbreaking heavy. So if you would like to dance with the Torah, I recommend grabbing a talit so that you're wearing one in preparation. And then we can kind of just zigzag around the room. I'm going to stand over here, so I'll have my music here. But feel free to dance around the room. Dance unabashedly, right? This is family. And be joyous. So if you would like to hold the Sifrei Torah, this first go around for the first hakafa, and with each hakafa we can switch, please come on up. And by the way, if you start dancing with Torah and you realize, gosh, this is like really, really heavy, I promise you the hakafa will be pretty short because I don't want anyone to get hurt. Feel free to pass it to someone else or just give them the look. If somebody gives you the look, you'll know I need help. Okay. Oh, yes, instruments. Thank you. The lightest one. So we can all rise if we're able. And you know what we'll do? Let's do this. Let's take off some of these ornaments so it's a little bit lighter to carry. Okay. I'm just going to put each one where they belong so we don't get them confused. Okay. There we go. I'll put these right over here. That'll take a pound off of each one maybe.
At least.
We'll leave the yads on.
Yes.
Okay, and then we'll replace all these after. Okay. I'll put this over here with this. All right. So you'll take the lighter one for now. I'll hand that to you. Do you have a preference? Right arm, left arm?
It has to be right on.
Right arm.
Yeah, I don't have a choice.
Oh, yep. Okay, you good? Okay. Watch your step. Okay. Yeah, it's our custom to take all of them out. But if it ends up being that they're really heavy, we can put two of them back and just dance with the lightest one. But we'll start with all three. It's a mitzvah. Do you have a preference?
Yes.
This is the medium one? Okay. Do you have a preference? Which arm? Right arm, left arm? All right. You good? Fabulous. Okay, thank you. Okay, sure. Thank you. Right arm? Okay. All right. Start us off. Okay. Elohei haruchot Hoshiana Bochen levavot Hatzlichana Goel chazak anenu Beyom koreinu La 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 Anenu Beyom koreinu Anenu Beyom koreinu Hine matovu manayim Shevet achim gam yachad Hine matovu manayim Shevet achim gam yachad Hine matov La 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 Hine matov La 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 Hine matov manayim Shevet achim gam yachad Hine matov manayim Shevet achim gam yachad Hine matov Ya la la ya la 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 Hine matov Ya la la ya la 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 Dover tzedakot Hoshiana Hadud bilbusho Hatzlichana Matik v'chasin anenu Beyom koreinu Lai 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 Anenu Beyom koreinu Ya lai lai Anenu Beyom koreinu Shavtem mayim besason Mimaynei ha-Yeshua Shavtem mayim besason Mimaynei ha-Yeshua Mayim, 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 mayim Hey mayim besason Mayim, 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 mayim Hey mayim besason Hey, 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 hey Mayim, 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 mayim mayim, mayim, besason, mayim, 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 besason, shasemayim, besason, mimaynei ha-Yeshua, shasemayim, besason, mimaynei ha-Yeshua, mayim, 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 hey, mayim, besason, mayim, 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 hey, mayim, besason, hey, 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 mayim, 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 besason, mayim, 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 besason. That was foreshadowing to our prayer for rain tomorrow. It's all about water, mayim. Zach v'yashar hoshiana chomer dalim hatzlichana tov v'mitiv aneinu beyom kodrainu haylay aneinu aneinu beyom kodrainu haylay aneinu aneinu beyom kodrainu or sarua lat sadik uyishlev simcha or sarua lat sadik uyishlev simcha or sarua lat sadik uyishlev simcha uyishlev simcha or sarua lat sadik uyishlev simcha uyishlev simcha or sarua lat sadik uyishlev simcha or sarua lat sadik uyishlev simcha or sarua lat sadik uyishlev simcha uyishlev simcha or sarua lat sadik uyishlev simcha uyishlev simcha. So let's do this. Let's put one of the Sefer Torah here for the fourth hakafa, and let's set the other two down. It also builds us in a little break so that we can rest our arms. Okay, so why don't we do this? Why don't we form a circle? You know what we can do? It'd be really nice actually to form a circle around the podium here. And if you know Eli, Eli, let's go ahead and sing together. Eli, Eli, we'll sing it in the Hebrew, we'll sing it in the English. It's about all these beautiful things around us. It's a bit somber. Come on closer. None of us bite. We all love each other here. And I hope that when we sing Eli, Eli, I hope that we can think about the unity of all of our brothers and sisters in Israel right now, and sit and dwell in this place of discomfort, right? This place of mourning, embedded in celebration. Let's sing together, and then I have a little closing kavanah. Eli, Eli, shelo yigaber leolam, achor ve'hayam, rish rush shel hamayim, ve'rak hashamayim, tfilat hadam, achor ve'hayam, rish rush shel hamayim, ve'rak hashamayim, tfilat hadam. Oh God, my God, I pray that these things never end. The sand and the seas, the rush of the waters, the crash of the heavens, the prayer of the sand and the seas, the rush of the waters, the crash of the heavens, the prayer of the heart. And we'll close this hakafah with this. Dear God, answer us on the day we call to you. At this time of our deep crisis, be near to us as we cry, and comfort us with your love and kindness. And may the words of the Psalms be fulfilled for us and all of Israel. You have turned my mourning into dancing. You have removed my sackcloth and robed me in joy. Am Yisrael Chai, the Jewish people, the people of Israel, will live. Well, we're going to turn our mourning into dancing as we transition to the fifth hakafah. Pardon my cough drop.
Anybody else want
And if it means we just dance with a lighter one, that's fine for now. It's okay. Do you need help? Want me to cheer up? Your right side. Let's not set off the panic button. Okay. Melech olamim, Hoshiana, Naor ve'adir, Hatzlichana, Somech noflim anenu, Beyom koreinu, Lai anenu, koreinu, Yain anenu, Beyom koreinu, Eilech hamdalibi, Husana ve'ana titalem, 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 Eilech hamdalibi, Husana ve'ana titalem.
anyone else?
Any takers?
Here, I'll take it, but
Oh, that's fine. Yeah.
That's the lightest one, so,
Yeah.
it's not the lightest one.
yeah, that is, this one's the medium.
Yeah, that's the one you want.
Sure. I like the maracas best.
Yeah. Ozer talim Hoshiana, Hodeu matzil hatzlichana, Suramim anenu, Beyom koreinu, Yain anenu, Beyom koreinu, Yain anenu, Beyom koreinu, Ori shava, Be'are yishu Yehuda, Uvechutzot, Anyone want to relieve Aimee? Anyone can do that? This last verse is a double verse. Kadosh v'norosh yada, rachum echanun hatzlichana, shomer avritonenu v'yom koreinu, tomech temimim hoshiana, takif la'ad hatzlichana, Tamim masavanenu beyom koreinu yainaynu anenu beyom koreinu yainaynu anenu beyom koreinu hava nagila venisecha hava nagila venisecha hava neranena. Let's keep dancing. Hava neranena venisecha hava neranena venisecha. Well, let's do this. Let's sit down the two heaviest ones, the middle and the left one. Which is this? I can tell you in half a second. Yep, middle. You're absolutely right. Hello. Yes, Koach. Thank you. We'll put the ornaments on in a second. And we'll set the lightest one on the podium because we'll be reading from it in just a moment. Is that the latest one?
Yes.
Okay. Let's do this. Okay. Let's set it right over here. I'm going to turn this way. And we can all... Sure. And then let's set the heaviest one down. And then we'll add the ornaments in just a second. Come on over. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right over here. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm just going to set this on now. Okay, let me just take the yod off a second. Okay, so what's going to happen in just a moment, after we're done setting these in place, we are going to chant from our first Torah. You can be seated. This reading comes from Parshat Vizot HaBracha, which literally translates to the words, and this is the blessing. And so what we're going to be chanting tonight is a segment from Moses' blessings to the tribes. And as he's reciting these blessings, it's kind of mimicking Jacob's blessings to his 12 sons. And so we'll hear that tonight. We'll be approaching the very end of the Torah, but it's going to be a cliffhanger. I'm going to make you wait till tomorrow. Different synagogues do different things. So we chant almost the very end of the Sefer Torah. And then tomorrow, I'm going to chant for you the very last 3 verses of the Torah. And that will be about, it's the section that talks about, when Moses climbed to the top of Har Nebo, right, at the Mount Nebo, and he saw the promised land. And he died, and he was buried. And to this day, there's no one. Oh, first, we don't know where Moses is buried, but till this day, there's never been a prophet quite as spectacular as Moses, who took us through the wild wilderness and brought us to the promised land. It's really bittersweet. I get choked up reading it. So we'll continue with that tomorrow. We'll end the Torah. Tomorrow we'll recite Chazak, Chazak, Benit Chazek, strength, strength. May we be strengthened as we journey from the end of the Torah all the way to the beginning. So then we'll read from our biggest Torah, Genesis. We'll read the first day of creation. Stuart's going to read that for us. And then I'll bring it home with our maftir, which talks about the different offerings that were brought to the temple on this festival. And that will be done from our middle Torah. So if you've never seen a service where you read from 3 separate Sifrei Torah, I highly recommend coming back. It's a circus, a three-ring Torah circus. So I'm going to go ahead and guide us tonight. I'm going to chant the first Aliyah for us. Let me just open up our... Pam, if you would like to follow along when I chant. Someone's following me. And, I almost forgot. So everyone is going to have an Aliyah tonight and tomorrow if you wish. So we're only kind of taking up about 2 sections. So this is what I recommend. I recommend for the first Aliyah, if you're comfortable, if you'd like, why doesn't this section here come up? We'll have everyone in this section come up for Aliyah number 2. And then Chloe, Pam, Dina, and I can come up for the third Aliyah. Okay? All right. ויעזור ויגן ויושיע לכל חסימו ונאמר אמן. הכל בגודל אלוהינו כבוד לתורה. יעמוד קהילה קדושה בית שלום לעלייה הראשונה. ברוך שנתן תורה לעמו ישראל בקדושתו. ואתם הבקים אדוני אלוהיכם חיים כולכם היום. So what I recommend is this, to kind of keep things moving, is why don't you designate one person in the group when we arrive at the spot in the Torah to kiss the spot. Let me just turn to the right portion so we can follow along here. And you can be our designated kisser. Fabulous. And Pam, if you want to follow along, you can use my book over here either way. So if you've never seen the very end of the Torah, you can come look at it. This is where we'll be reading tomorrow, from here to the end. And we're starting over here tonight. All right, do you want to kiss the spot?
What page are we on?
Oh, I think I have that.
33.
Yes, we are on page 1206. Thank you for reminding me. Want to go ahead and start as a group. Wonderful. Either way. Amen. If you'll hold on to this for me. וזבולון אמר שמח זבולון בצאתך ויששכר באוהליך עמים ההרים קראו שם יזבחו זבחי צדק כי שפע הימים ינקו וספוני תמוני חול ולגד אמר ברוך מרחיב גד כלבי שכן בצנף זרוע אף קודקוד וירא ראשית לו כי שם חכת מחוקק צפון ויתר ראשי עם צדקת אדוני עשה משפטיו עם ישראל. Want to kiss the spot? Yasher kochechem. May you go from strength to strength. And let's take one volunteer to stand on this side for the group. And we will continue with our second aliyah. And our Torah reader for the next two portions, the second and third, will be Pam Sudbury. Thank you so much, Pam. Yamod kehila kedosha beit shalom la'aliyah shniya. You are the last word on the second to last column. Pull it down. If someone would like to be the official kisser for the group, fabulous.
You said the last?
Pull it down.
Hold on, it's just right here. But I just, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you guys can go.
Baruch Adonai Habarach Le'olam Ba'ed.
Baruch Adonai Habarach Le'olam Ba'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech
Just
haolam.
making sure.
Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Sorry, I'm not wearing my heels today.
Would someone hold outside, please? You're fine.
Amen. Udan Amar Dan Gur Aye Yizan Nek Min Habashan Unaftali Amar Naftali Shiva Ratzon.
Siva.
Oh, Siva Ratzon Uma Lay Uma what's
Kumalei.
Malay Birkat Adonai Yom Yidar
Vidarom.
Vidarom Yersha Ul Asher Amar Baruch Mibanim Asher Yehi Ratsui
Echav.
Echad Utuval Bashem and Raglo.
Shkalach. Want to kiss the spot? Yeah, Shkalach.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher natan lanu Torah temet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Yasher kochechem. May you all go from strength to strength. We continue with the third aliyah. Yamod kehila kedosha beit shalom la'aliyah shlishit. You come stand on this side, and we're all up for the aliyah. Why don't one of you be one of the official kissers? I get to be by the Torah all the time.
Where'd it go? Ul Asher
I think it's in. Let me just get in here a second.
Just Utuval right there.
Here, go ahead and kiss one. And then this.
Okay.
It's Adonai Hamborach.
Baruch Adonai Habarach Le'olam Ba'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach Le'olam Ba'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah. If you want to hold that open.
Do I know the portion? Amen. Berzel U'Choshet Mina Alecha U'Yamecha Shamayim Be'ezrecha Uga'avato Shechakim Me'ana Elohei Kedem Umitachat Zirat Olam Vayigaresh mi panecha oyev
Vayomer Hashmed Yashikochach Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher natan lanu Torah temet V'chayei olam nata betochenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen. May you all go from strength to strength. Yasher Koach to Pam Sudbury. The words in this portion are not, as I like to say, old friends. These words are extremely difficult. Maybe like one step less difficult than Parshat Ha'azinu, which is like major poetry, but it's just about there. It's really difficult. So thank you, Pam, for taking that on and chanting is so beautifully, like always. Chatzi Kaddish. Yid Gadal ve'yid Kadash Shemei Rabav Be'alma divra kirutei ve'amlich malchutei B'chayechon hu v'yomechon V'chayidecho Beit Yisrael Ba'galam Ubizman kadri vimeru amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevora. Alam alam me'amayam. Yitbarach ve'yishtabach v'yitpa'an v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalah shemei tekudasha brechu le'ilah v'yitkol birchata v'shirata Tushbechata v'nechemata Tamiran be'alma Vimeru Amen. Well, we call up the Hagba and Galila, our lifter and dresser. Yamod Hamagbiah Tamod Hagolelet. We invite Nachshon and Joyce Atkins for lifting and dressing the Torah. I invite you to rise. And you think this is something, come back tomorrow. We'll be lifting and dressing all three. Wow. If you need help, let me know. This is probably the hardest lift of the year. This and the other one tomorrow, Genesis. Vezot haTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai beyad Moshe. Torah, 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 Torah. Ratziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Torah. Tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Torah. Tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Torah. Tziva lanu Moshe. Morasha Kehilat Yaakov. Morasha Kehilat Yaakov. Morasha Kehilat Yaakov. Torah Tziva lanu Moshe. While they're finishing the final touches, I'll explain. Let's remain standing since we have already made many sivuvim, circles around the sanctuary. We're actually, if you'll come up over here, we're actually going to go ahead and return the Sefer Torah. It's custom to go straight into Etz Chaim here at this point. Thank you, sorry. Surprise! And if you'd like to follow along with Etz Chaim, you can find it on page 514. Etz Chaim hi lama chazikim ba v'tomcheha meushar derachem Yashikoach. So if you will remain standing for a quick moment, we are going to turn to page 386 for Kiddush for festival evening. And once again, our festival melody comes back here. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'am, ve'omer banu mikol lashon, v'kiddushanu mitzvotav. Excuse me. V'atiten lanu Adonai Eloheinu be'ahava modim l'simcha chagim l'zmanim l'sason et yom chag hashmini chag Atzeret hazeh zman simchatenu mikra kodesh zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim kivanu v'charta ve'otanu Kidashta mikol hamim, u'moedei kodshecha, besimcha v'sason hilchatanu. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh Yisrael, v'hazemanim l'chaim. Well, now, you're still standing. If you need to be seated, don't worry. Listen to your body. We're going to turn to page 586 for Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'teit gidula le'otzev reishit, shelo asani pigoye haratzot, ve'lo samanhu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkin yekayim, Egod Aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech, malchei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, shehu notei shamayim meyaser haaretz, Moshe v'ikaro b'shamayim himam, L'shchinato zo v'gavim erohomim, Hu Eloheinu Eloheinot, Emebakeinu v'esulato, Kagatu v'torato, V'yadata yom v'shemota elevavecha, Ki Adonai hu Elohim, Bashamayim imal, Yaret mitachat einad einod. 590. Ben Hemar ve'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yom Adonai echad, u'shemo, u'shemo, u'shemo echad. You may be seated. This week, we mourn the recent passing of Jean. Please correct me, Pat. I'm probably going to botch this name. Jean Sturmhofel. Is that correct? Beloved sister of Pat Rubens. We are so sorry for your loss, and we are here surrounding you in love and comfort, and may you find comfort among all the other mourners of Zion and Jerusalem. And let us all say amen. This week, we are remembering Erwin Weiner, father-in-law of Lily Weiner and father of Frank Weiner, Herman Kabikoff, father of Phil Kabikoff, Anne Jacobs, aunt of Judy Clark, Mordechai Miskin, father of Rachel Carlson, Constance Stewart, stepmother of Sarai Stewart, Robert Pace Flack, uncle of Sharon Mandel, Samuel Master, father of Bess Davidson, Gertrude Steinberg Rubin, mother of Sherwin Rubin. Anne Kravitz, mother of James Kravitz and wife of Louis Kravitz. Lorraine Tan Posner, parent of Richard Posner. Mona Ahrens, aunt of Martine Thomas. We're also remembering over 1,200 yard sites of those who lost their lives brutally last October 7th, but on this day on the Hebrew calendar last year. I invite all of us, if you're comfortable with it, to recite Mourner's Kaddish, whether we're remembering yard sites in our family. I also invite us to do so for those who lost their lives in Israel. Mourner's Kaddish can be found on page 598. Yit gadal v'yit kadash shemei be'alma divra kirite v'yamlich malchute v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael v'agala uvizman kariv meru amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevarach le'alam ulhamei amaya Barach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitshomam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yithaleh v'yithalal shmei dekudsha brichu Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tishvechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma b'imru amen. Yehi shlama Rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael b'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'momav hu ya'aseh shalom ve'al kol Yisrael b'imru amen. May their memories all be for a blessing, and let us say amen. So this concludes our service, but Pam, did you have any announcements? Aside from, yes. So come back tomorrow, just to kind of let you know what's happening during services tomorrow. It's actually a really festive, beautiful service. We will be davening Festival Shachrit, the morning service, followed by Hallel and Torah reading. Once again, the end of the Torah, the Torah from the beginning, and then the special maftir. And then we'll have a Yizkor service, and leading into our Yizkor service, in lieu of a traditional Devar, I'll be sharing some just miniature portraits or bios on some of the people who lost their lives on October 7th last year, so that we can remember them and tell their story, bear witness. And then we will move into a prayer for rain. And if you've never heard the special melody that goes with it, I think it's one of the most beautiful of the year. We'll do some in English, some in Hebrew. And then we'll say, the holy days are over. And then we'll move into Mar Cheshvan, bitter Cheshvan, the bitter month of Cheshvan, because there are no holidays. But I think sometimes there's a little joy in knowing that we can kind of go back to our routine after such a festive month. I wish you all a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for coming out, and Chag Sameach.